2 people watching. We also have the comments coming through.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay. Let's see. How do I? My guy, Mr. HD. How we living? How we feeling? Okay. Carl, how we doing, man? How we doing? I'm trying to see if we can get the live streams back going. Trying to see if we can get the live streams back going. See how the internet holds up. Will Mcclain sign with us on the 15th? So let's go ahead and talk about Kermani McLean. I knew when I popped this up, somebody was gonna ask about Kermani McLean. So let's talk about Cormani. First things first is when it comes to Kermani McLean, nobody knows anything. If you don't hear from Cormani himself or his mother, no one knows a thing. Think about how it went when he was being recruited by Florida. Everybody thought he was going to Florida. I thought he was going to Florida. You thought he was going to Florida. 247 had already had edited videos saying he was going to Florida. Then what happened? He chose us, and it shocked us. Then he's supposed to sign with us. We brought the cake. They had a cake for him. Let's go Cormani. And he don't sign on that day. And again, everybody's shocked. So listen, these articles that are coming out, these people are saying this or that. Nobody knows. That's why y'all got me here to tell y'all for real. Nobody knows. So people are going to be tweeting out different, vague tweets and stuff like that. But nobody knows but Cormani and his mother. There are people who are asking the question, will he sign with us? I'm telling people we need to make sure he stays with us. We need to make sure he stays with us. What are you talking about? NMD, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you what I think, what I'm talking about. Even if Cormani signs on January the 15th, because he's been so indecisive with this recruitment, my question is, if we go through a rough season next year, will he stay with us? Because remember, you get one free transfer. So if you're an Alabama team, a team like Alabama, and he decides to come to Miami, does Alabama say, okay, let's see how Miami does. Let's see if he likes it and recruit him behind the scenes. That way, if he transfers after one season, most likely he's stuck at that next destination. So everybody wants to know, will he sign with us January 15th? Nobody knows. But I think the most important question is, will he stay with Miami? It looks suspect to me. The whole recruitment looks suspect. The whole thing looks suspect. The whole thing looks suspect. He was supposed to wake up on early signing day, sign note. Think about this, guys. This wouldn't look weird to me if this wouldn't. I'm not shook. I'm not shook. Now, listen, this wouldn't look, in all seriousness, if this was happening after Miami lost to Middle Tennessee State, I would say, hey, who could blame the kid, right? We're looking like ass. If this happened after Pittsburgh mollywopped us on senior night, I would say, who could blame the kid? We look like ass. But National Signing Day was a great day for us. National Signing Day was an amazing day for the Miami Hurricane program. One of the best recruiting classes ever. He had a chance to be a part of that. And he woke up and said, nah, I'm good. He woke up and said, nah, it's okay. I ain't ready to sign just yet. I'm not ready to sign just yet. So that's what makes it weird to me is that on one of the biggest days for Miami over the past year with this recruiting class and his biggest day, as a high school kid going to college, this is a big day. Signing with the other players and stuff like that, it's a big day. He was going to be a main part of early signing day. Everybody was going to talk about Cormani. Well, I guess, he got that attention because he didn't sign. So that's not a signing day, but you can sign on the 15th as like early. It's like a early within the day or something like that. The recruiting rules change all the time. I know that January 15th is like a day in which you can sign a letter of intent or whatever early. So it's I'm not going to go off on the whole Kermani thing because I think, nothing is official till they sign on the dotted line. Guys, I tell y'all that. But I do think that it's something's going on. And then you look at the interview last night. Let's see. I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to learn how to use StreamYard. I was in my I was using Streamlabs forever. And now I'm trying to learn how to use StreamYard. Let's see. How do I? Let me see how do I how do I share my screen with y'all? I don't know about that. Let's see. Dorian says, do we need another running back? I think the running back position is fine right now. I think we need to get more offensive linemen. We need a new wide receiver. We need a mobile quarterback. Don't get me started on the mobile quarterback tangent. I look at our running back position and I like it, man. I'm expecting we got injuries. Do we have injury concerns at the running back position? Yes, but Henry Parrish showed me that he could do great things last year. Don Chaney coming back. Trevante Citizen coming back. Mark Fletcher, to me, seems like he's ready to come in and play right away. I think we're fine at running back. I think we need to look at other positions. JT Sports, how we doing, man? FSU is going ham in a portal. They may do something this year. We'll see what happens. I do know one thing. Games aren't won on paper. So, Florida State, they're making big moves in the portal, but games aren't won on paper. Can they do it? I mean, because you look at last year, they beat LSU early in the season with a first-year head, with Brian Kelly. He was filling out the team. Mason Smith gets injured in that game. And then they beat a lot of teams that didn't do well this year. The three teams that they played that were good, they struggled. So let's see what happens. The late great Denny Green said, hey, if you want to crown him, crown him. If you want to crown her ass, crown him. But to me, I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it. Pull his scholarship, take his NIL package, and give it to Harbor. He can only sign for this. Listen, like I said, I don't really want to go off. I don't want to go off on a Kermani McLean thing because it's not on wax. All I will say is the more I follow recruiting, the more I look and see how recruits do things and how some of these coaches do recruits. Man, being a college coach would be tough, man. Being a college coach, just look at old Mike Norvell. He was over there singing happy birthday, buying steak, and then 2 days later, Bane is a hurricane. Being a college coach got to be stressful. Look, Mario goes all out, gets Cormani McLean, then National Day, early signing day comes, he don't sign, and now we're still in this predicament. So, my guy, Miami boy in the house. Miami boy, I appreciate you being a member too. Shout out to everybody who joined the memberships. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate the extra support, man. We're going to be live streaming more. Best believe that. Let's see. Something doesn't smell right. There must be a reason why he didn't sign in December. All I'm saying is, listen, a recruit's signing day is like, it's like a marriage. It's like a wedding day. A recruit signing day is like their wedding day. Think about your wedding day. It's a great day in your life, one of the greatest days in your life. That's how it's supposed to be for a high school kid. Well, if you or your spouse doesn't show up and walk down that aisle, wouldn't you think something's up? I would. So yeah, something do look off, man. Do you know I Show Speed? Yes. I Show Speed. That dude is crazy. I Show Speed is crazy. I just saw he was on streaming. That kid is crazy. All the shorter linemen we have should play center. I wouldn't mind us going after Matt Lee, the UCF center who just entered the transfer portal. Wouldn't mind at all. Man, I need some encouragement with Mario, dog. Losing to Middle Tennessee State and Duke, we always win the offseason but never do anything on the field. I'm going to give you some encouragement. One, Mario has built up every school he's been to. He's rebuilt it. Secondly, look at Miami. Look at the state of the program. We have changed coaches. We've changed offensive coordinators. We've changed defensive coordinators. We've changed ADs. We've done everything. And Mario is doing what needs to be done. And that is clearing house, getting out all the players that don't need to be here, and getting players that he wants and needs to rebuild this. We've tried everything, and now we're trying to get rid of all the players that have been here and that hasn't pulled their weight. And you can see with the way that you can see where these players are going, you can see that they weren't championship caliber. You can see that they weren't championship caliber by the schools they're going. Where do I think Cormani will sign? I think Cormani signs with Miami, but the question is, will he stay with Miami all 4 years or all 3 years? That's my question. Because if he signs with us and transfers next year, and people say, well, why do you think he'll transfer? Well, look at the recruiting. So, but as I've said as soon as I started this live stream off, nobody knows anything but Cormani and his mother. So, all I got is opinions. Man, these kids are different, so who gives a damn? I think we all give a damn because it's like If we didn't give a damn, we wouldn't be having live streams and stuff like that. Let Mario cook. Yeah, I got faith in Mario, man. I'm not worried about Mario because when you can recruit like Mario can recruit, we're going to get the right guys in here to change this thing around. And I've seen him do it before. With other coaches who they didn't have the resume that Mario had. You know, when you look at the coaches that we've been through, they didn't have the resume that a Mario Cristobal has. Rebuilding programs, 2-time Pac-12 champion, Rose Bowl champion. They didn't have that resume. You look at Mark Richt. He had a great, respectable resume, and we got up to what? 10 wins? Up to number 3? I think Mario's the same way. Now, Mario, this last season was unacceptable. It was terrible, but I get it. I understand what's going on. Mario and Coach DVD will get this done. Yeah, I think that's our trump card. I think when you put everything on the table, we have something that other schools do not have. You heard Cormani says he wants to be developed. He wants to play early. Well, we can get him that. Alabama can get him that. Colorado can give him that. But we have something that they don't have, and that is a DeMarcus Van Dyke. In that relationship, the Marcus Van Dyke relationship is why we are still in this picture, I believe, because when it comes to Kermani McLean, anybody can come up with NIL money for Kermani McLean. Most schools can come up with NIL money for Kermani McLean. So then you got to look above that. And I believe DVD's relationship, and this is just me guessing, is what's holding us on, is what's keeping us in this game. Can I get an amen in the chat? Yeah. Getting players isn't the problem for him. He's great, but do we believe he can win us the big game? Well, I saw him win Rose Bowls. I saw him go into Ohio State without his best player and top draft pick Kayvon Thibodeau and beat Ohio State at Ohio State. So I would say he can. I will say he can. Listen, I've been following the Colorado's program, and I've always been a Deion Sanders fan. But as I've been following Deion more closely, like watching more of his YouTube videos, if you're a recruit, you're going to love what Deion is selling you. I mean, it's just when you hear Deion talk, if you're just going to like what he's selling. But when you listen to how Mario Cristobal talk, and when you listen to what even players who didn't commit to Miami, they say it was tough not to commit to Miami because Mario's such a good recruiter. He's so down to earth. So, you know, I do see what Deion, why kids would want to go play for him. But you look at Mario, and people love and respect Mario as well. And he is and we got DVD. That's our trump card. We got the relationship with DVD. Yeah. Yep. You got, you know, everybody thinks the 3 schools is Miami, Colorado, and Alabama. So we're looking at that, and we'll see what ends up happening. It's going to be an interesting day. But with the transfer portal, it's just like Daryl Jackson. When we got Daryl Jackson, and I thought he was a good player for us, I never thought about the very next season he's going to be playing for Florida State. So it's going to be cool if he says, I'm signing with the Miami Hurricanes. I'm going to jump on here, on the live stream, on the chat. I'm going to get down. I'm going to dance. I'm going to be excited. But then we got to keep in mind, these kids can dip out whenever he wants to. Shout out to Knox Kane with the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. He won when USC was down. Listen, I mean, the man won. All I know is he won. You know, I understand that if you're somebody who is not for Mario Cristobal, and I'm not saying that you are that type of person, but if you're a person who wants to dive into his resume, you can say things like, well, you know, pandemic year, USC was down. All I know is he lined it up. He won conferences. He should be able to do it here at Miami. J.E. Love, what's up, Mike? Guy in the house, he says, yo, hey, another member, another Kane Gang member, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Yeah, USC being down isn't Cristobal's fault. We got to give credit where credit's due. We got to give credit where credit's due, man. And that's what's and honestly, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This next year, I hope people aren't thinking that Miami is going to, at least let me say this. I don't think we're going to have a 9-10 win season next year. I think next year we're still going to struggle. And I think the third year is when we really start to see the progress. So that's why I say when people talk about different recruits signing with us, I'm excited that they're signing with us, but we also got to keep in mind is we got to keep them. We got to keep them on the vision, because I don't think next year is going to be we just changed everything around. No, we're still developing the culture. We still got to get right. When you get a chance, holler at me. I got some contact for you on why Miami will win 10 games next year. I don't see it. 10 games, that's woof. I hope and pray. It's possible. I mean, TCU is going to the national championship, so anything is possible. 5-7 with blue chippers, not one player improved under this coaching staff. Am I wrong? Cam Kitchings. How many All-Americans did we have last year? This year we have Cameron Kitchings. He improved. Leonard Taylor improved. Corey Flagg, although he improved. Trying to think of who else improved. Those are three off the top of my head. So there's that. And 5-7 is unacceptable, but it is what it is. We on to the next. I believe Mario is the top 3 recruiter in the entire country. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. I know you don't believe that. I mean, I don't know how that could be. And Mario's coming here. Mario saved the recruiting class last year because the recruiting class was in what? The 30th, the 20th? Mario brought us all the way up into about the top 15. And then this year gave us the best recruiting class ever. If he goes somewhere else, that DVD connection wasn't strong because out of respect, he wouldn't have decommitted first. Well, let me ask you this, Cat Daddy. Because I do, and I'm just asking questions. Why didn't he sign on National Signing Day? That is the question. That's the question. Kobe Young came from a little community college, JUCO, whatever. Showed out as much as somebody could off of how horrible the offense was. I'm interested to see injuries this upcoming year. because we had a lot of injuries this year, a lot. And I want to see if this year the same thing happens, because if it happens 2 years in a row, that's definitely something to keep our eye on. Canes need another offense, got to put up points in college football. Gaddis is not the guy. I don't know. I saw a lot of missed opportunities last year. I saw a lot of drop passes. I saw a lot of interceptions thrown right at players. I saw a lot of missed blocks. A lot of offensive line couldn't block for nothing. I can't say that after one season where everybody was ass. You know, every position was doo-doo almost. Almost. So I think we give Gaddis one more year, see how he does next year. I'm sure he's going to improve. Offensive line is going to improve. And this offense will look different with the offensive line that we have if we don't have injuries. And that's what I'm saying. Injuries plays a key point in it. Skinner will be a monster this upcoming season at tight end. He's got to be more physical blocking, because this is what I think happened last year. Pass catching, route running, he's going to be receiving. He's good at that. But I think they had to take him out and put in Jaleel Brantley for the blocking H-back style, when ideally I think you would want to keep Jaleel in the game if he can block as good. So I think he has to work on his blocking. Canes just needed better players. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Our O-line was atrocious. You ain't lying. Couldn't block a soul. Rate the wide receiver room. I would give rate the wide receiver room. Like right now, I would say our wide receiver room is a D. I would say when you compare our wide receiver room, like let's say Ohio State is an A. They got a lot of good wide receivers. I would say our wide receiver room is a D. Close to an F. Close to an F. Because besides Kobe Young, there's no wide receivers on our team that scares. If I'm a defensive coordinator, there's no wide receivers that really scare us. And that partially goes back to the offensive line, because a wide receiver can't be a wide receiver if the O-line can't block and give the quarterback time. So if I'm a wide receiver, so for instance, everybody watched the game between Georgia and Ohio State. Georgia has a play where a wide receiver, Smith, 4.2 speeds, breaks off, the DB drops, and the ball is a little bit late getting there. But when Stetson Bennett finally saw him, he was able to get him the ball. If your O-line can't block long enough for you to see the wide open guy, then you can't show how good of a wide receiver you are. If I only can run slants, stop routes, and quick outs because our O-line can't block, I can't show you how good of a wide receiver I can. Kevin Steele getting the pass when our defense was the healthiest. Ronnie Graham, talk to him. Ronnie Graham, that is a great point. There's a lot of efforts to get Gaddis out of here. And I'm saying, well, what about Kevin Steele? because the defense was horrible. At points, we showed flashes. The offense was horrible. We were a 5-7 team that lost to Middle Tennessee State. We were horrible. So that's why it's kind of crazy that everybody wants to say just Josh Gaddis. Because to me, 5-7, that's a lot of blame to go around. And I'm talking about we're 5-7 getting bombed on defense. So defense was on the field a lot. That is a fact. But the bottom line is when you are 5-7 and you lose to Middle Tennessee State, there is a lot of blame to go around. But people keep saying like, oh, Josh Gaddis, get him out and you're gonna be good. Do you think if we get a new offensive coordinator, is that going to stop our defense from getting 50 yards on our head top? Because Middle Tennessee was dropping 50-yard bombs on our head top. That didn't have nothing to do with the defense was on the field too long. That was just over the head top, 101. You got Florida State. We got them stopped. They go back on the field. Bam, post route. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We were 5-7. We were ass last year. Let's just call it what it is. We can point at players, we can point at coaches, but the bottom line is overall, it all played in line together. We were 5-7. It was doo-doo. 99-yard bombs on our head top. Oh, Lord, don't make me think about it. Don't make me think about it. NMD, did you talk about Cormani yet? Did you see his interview? Yeah, I talked about that earlier in the stream. I talked about that and how I felt about that and just the basic things that I want people to know about Cormani is that we won't know anything until it happens because their camp is keeping everything on lockdown. First I want to say Nathaniel Joseph coming in will be slot. He's going to be a problem. I do think he's going to be a problem, Scotty. X is the only good wide receiver we got. He's a dog. What makes him a dog? What has Xavier Restrepo done last year? Tell me if I'm wrong. What has he done? Kobe Young was our best wide receiver last year. Well, how do you know that, Grant? Look at the numbers he put up. Look at the production he put up, and look at the attention he garnered. Xavier Restrepo dealt with injuries, but I hear a lot of people saying they're like, Xavier Restrepo this, Xavier Restrepo that. I love the young man, but now it's time for him to really show out. Now is his time to really show out because we've been hyping him. We've been hyping him. Eventually, the hyping's got to stop, and we got to go off of what we seen on film. He was healthy enough. He did deal with an injury, but he was healthy enough, and it really didn't. You know, when Kobe Young got going, I said, okay, we got us a receiver, and he made impact play after play, play after play. But X, and not just X, Brashard Smith, Latson. I want y'all to tell me, if you look at last year, how would y'all grade the wide receiver play? Hey, thank you, James. I appreciate that. And we got to keep in mind, listen, these players, they're with Miami I love them. I want them to be best. I hope Xavier Restrepo wins the Bolitnikoff Award next year. But the bottom line is the big eye in the sky don't lie. We cannot keep saying, and this isn't just to Xavier Restrepo, we just cannot keep saying, oh, this player is a dog, this player is a beast, this player, and years go by without him putting up dog-like numbers, beast-like numbers. Wide receiver room was an F. Wide receiver room was a C. Who's the wide receivers coach? Josh Gaddis. Josh Gaddis. That's your wide receivers coach. Jacoby George. Okay. Jacoby George. I'm expecting big things from Jacoby next year. You know, we saw the Texas A&M game where he hit the I think it was the Pittsburgh game where he looked elusive. Jacoby George, he dealt with the suspension. He dealt with the injury. We saw one or two catches that were nice. I'm expecting big things this year. I like Jacoby. I'm not giving up on Jacoby. I know that we're looking at the wide receiver from Oregon. The what's his name? DeAndre Thompson. Is that it? Thompson? Thornton. Last time I heard, the Razorbacks were trying to get him. The Razorbacks are trying to lock him in this weekend. Is what I heard. I do think we needed to add another wide receiver. We need another wide receiver on this team through the transfer portal. Hey, happy New Year's to you, my guy. All right, guys, I'm about to jump off this. I'm gonna start streaming more. I just wanted to see if my internet would hold up. Let me know. Did the internet hold up? Was I glitching out or anything, y'all? Y'all let me know. Was I glitching out or anything like that? You were good? Okay. I appreciate that, Vicious. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking with your boy. I'm out.